Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Nārayanam namaskritya.
Nārayanam namaskritya.
Naram chaiva narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudire.
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata sevaya.
Bhagavati uttama shloke.
Bhagavati uttama shloke.
Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki.
Bhakti bhavati naishtiki.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, my voice today is a little choked up. I hope I'll be able to speak and give the class. This morning I was feeling really... Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter 5, Nārada Muni cursed by Prajāpati Dakṣa. Text 21. Iti vyavasitā rājan haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ prayayus parikramya panthānam anivartanam iti vyavasitā rājan haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ prayayus parikramya panthānam anivartanam iti vyavasitā rājan haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ prayayus parikramya panthānam anivartanam iti vyavasitā rājan haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ prayayus parikramya panthānam anivartanam
iti vyavasitā rājan haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ parayustam parikramya panthānam anivartanam
iti vyavasitā rājan haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ prayayustam parikramya panthānam anivartanam
iti vyavasitā rājan
haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ
prayayustam parikramya
panthānam anivartanam.
Mataji's
iti vyavasitā rājan haryaśvā eka-cetasaḥ prayayustam parikramya panthānam anivartanam
iti thus
vyavasitā
being fully convinced
being fully convinced
by the instructions of Nārada Muni.
by the instructions of Nārada Muni.
Rājan, O king, haryaśvā, the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, eka-cetasaḥ, all being of the same opinion, prayayus, left, Nārada Muni, parikramya, circumambulating, panthānam, on the path, anivartanam, which does not bring one back again to this material world. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Śukadeva Gosvāmī continued, My dear king, after hearing the instructions of Nārada, the Haryaśvas, the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, were firmly convinced. They all believed in his instructions and reached the same conclusion. Having accepted him as their spiritual master, they circumambulated that great sage and followed the path by which one never returns to this world. Please repeat after me. Śukadeva Gosvāmī continued. My dear king, after hearing the instructions of Nārada, the Haryaśvas, the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, were firmly convinced. They all believed in his instructions. And reached the same conclusion. Having accepted him as their spiritual master, they circumambulated that great sage, and followed the path, by which one never returns to this world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. From this verse we can understand the meaning of initiation and the duties of a disciple and spiritual master. The spiritual master never instructed his disciples, take a mantra from me, pay me some money, and by practicing this yoga system, you'll become very expert in materialistic life. This is not the duty of a spiritual master. Rather, the spiritual master teaches the disciple how to give up materialistic life, and the disciple's duty is to assimilate his instructions and ultimately follow the path back home to Godhead, from whence no one returns to this material world. After hearing the instructions of Nārada Muni, the Haryaśvas, the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, decided not to be entangled in materialistic life by begetting hundreds of children and having to take care of them. This would have been unnecessarily entangling. The Haryaśvas did not consider pious and impious activities. Their materialistic father had instructed them to increase the population, but because of the words of Nārada Muni, they could not heed that instruction. Nārada Muni, as their spiritual master, gave them the shastric instructions that they should give up this material world, and as a bona fide disciples, they followed his instructions. One should not endeavor to wander to different planetary systems within the universe. For even if one goes to the topmost planetary system, Brahmaloka, one must return again. Kshine punne martulokam vishanti. The endeavors of karmis are a useless waste of time. One should endeavor to return home back to Godhead. This is the perfection of life. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 8:16, Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartina arjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidati. From the highest planet to the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvāsadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Nārada Muni was cursed by Prajāpati Dakṣa. Why was he cursed? Because he made Daksha's sons into devotees. Daksha is a Prajāpati. Prajāpati means progenitor, like those who create or rather give birth to entities, living entities, to fill up the universe. Original Prajāpati was Lord Brahma. And then Brahma had 10 sons, and 9 of them also became Prajāpati. They are Pulasta, Pulaha, Kratu, Angira, Marichi, and Daksha. So Daksha, through his wife, gave birth to 10,000 children. And he told his children, fill up the universe with progeny. Produce many, many children. Fill up the universe. So they felt that in order to execute their job properly, they need to become qualified. And so that is the Vedic understanding. Before one accepts a responsible position, one needs to become qualified. Then only things will happen in a proper way. If you put unqualified person to do something, what will happen? Say for example, if a person who doesn't know how to cook, you put him in the kitchen, what will happen? Will you be able to take prasad? Well, prasad, of course, devotee, no matter whatever condition. So similarly, if somebody who doesn't know how to drive a car, if you put him on the driver's seat, will you drive that car? If somebody who doesn't know how to fly an aeroplane, will you venture to get into that aeroplane? So the proper understanding is that for any job, any responsibility one takes, he has to be qualified. Getting the position is not the only thing. To be able to execute the responsibility is the important thing. So that's why we see, like, do you remember prior to that we started reading the story of Prajāpatis? What did they do? When they were instructed by their father, they also went towards west to perform austerity. And when Prajāpati's sons, Daksha's sons, who are known as haryaśvas, 10,000 of them, they also went to the west. Here is interesting to note that Prajāpatis also went to the west, and haryaśvas also went to the west. What does it indicate? That west is the direction for materialistic prosperity. For materialistic activities, go to the west. But for spiritual activities, go to the east. So, anyway, so 10,000 children of them went to the place where the river Sindhu meets the Indian Ocean. And that was considered to be a very holy place. So there they were performing austerities. And then Nārada Muni saw that these boys are such sincere individuals. So let them become devotees. So Nārada Muni went and instructed them. What was the instruction? That instruction is a simple instruction that every spiritual master gives. For so many lifetimes you have been enjoying, for so many lifetimes you are trying to enjoy the material nature, and you're seeing that you're still not satisfied. So offer this life to Krishna. Does this instruction ring a bell? That's what Srila Prabhupada told. For many lifetimes you've been trying to enjoy this, but you can see that you're still not satisfied. So just offer this life to Krishna. So in a similar way, as Prabhupada is pointing out, that is the instruction that a spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master gives. Bona fide spiritual master doesn't say that I will show you the path of materialistic way of life. Spiritual master's business is to show the way back to God. Jai Krishna Tattva Vetta, Jai Guru. The qualification of a Guru is that he knows Krishna. And so Nārada Muni, as a most bona fide spiritual. One thing about Nārada Muni, we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, practically everyone goes through Nārada Muni. Nārada Muni's business is to give Narayan. Give Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is what makes Nārada Muni most qualified spiritual master. The spiritual master simply instructs about Krishna and instructs the advantage of being Krishna conscious. He reminds us about who Krishna is and how to develop a loving relationship. So hearing that, all the Haryaśvas, the sons of Dakṣa, considered yes, that's the right instruction. Although our father said, procreate many, many children, and you get stuck, and they also get stuck. Get them also get stuck in this material nature. So that was instruction of Dakṣa, indirectly. It may sound a little harsh, but the real thing is better not to get married. Remain a brahmachari. And when one enters into household life, one realizes what a messy business it is. So, when some brahmachari wants to get married, I tell them, speak to 3 householders. But that's the material nature like, the illusory nature. Allures one to get entangled, thinking that this is the real goal of life. And in a material nature, it is natural, because we see also, like In physics, you remember charges? The positive charge is always searching for a negative one. And then when they become united, then they become neutralized. Then they're peaceful. Otherwise they're very agitated. Just moving at tremendous speed until it comes across a negative charge. But when positive and negative meets, it's neutral. So now we have to understand that whether we are positive or negative, our business is not to get connected to each other. Our business is to get connected to Krishna. Because this attraction for each other is only a physical thing, nothing to do with it, nothing to do with our spiritual prosperity and progress. It is natural by the body. That's the nature of the body. A male body is attracted to a female body, and a female body is attracted to a male body. But the thing is that our real identity is not this body. Our real identity is the spirit soul. So we shouldn't succumb to the body's need. We should succumb to our soul's need. Then only will we become satisfied. Like when a man meets a woman, unites with a woman, he feels satisfied. But that satisfaction, that happiness doesn't last very long. And it goes on and on and on, like life after life after life is happening. That's the thing that Prabhupada told me. For so many lifetimes you have been trying to enjoy. But the thing is that in spite of millions of lifetimes of this endeavor for enjoyment, you're still not satisfied. We are not satisfied because our real need hasn't been fulfilled. Like when a young man and a woman meets, they get married, they become together. For the time being, they feel some sort of satisfaction and pleasure, some happiness, but that doesn't last forever. That's why again, when he gets a new body in another life, again the same attraction is there. And it goes on. And that's why the scripture says, Punah, Punashcharvita. Charvita means chew. Punah means again and again. Charvanana, what had been chewed already. In that respect, the example is given of a sugarcane pulp. Sugarcane is full of juice. But when the juice is taken out and the pulp, no matter how much you are chewing the pulp, you'll never get the juice out. Now our materialistic way of life is like that. Punah punah, charvita charvana. So therefore the intelligent thing is to recognize what is our real need and act according to that need. And of course, in order to understand that need, we have to come across a qualified, bona fide spiritual master. There's a bona fide spiritual master who gives us the knowledge. Until and unless one comes across a bona fide spiritual master on his own, he cannot find it. He cannot figure it out. He thinks this is the way of life. Everyone is thinking. In the materialistic world, everyone is thinking to find a suitable match, suitable partner. And that search is natural, but only when one comes across a bona fide spiritual master, then he gives an instruction. Like when Prajāpati Dakṣa told his sons about their responsibility, their duty, they thought, yes, that's the way of life. That is the goal of life. Get qualified, get married, produce children, then maintain the family. And it goes on and on. But then comes a spiritual master. And he says, that's not the way of life. That's not the goal of life. The goal of life is to develop your relationship with Krishna. So, and that's where you're seeing, like, if you consider how our lives changed. Now, if I ask, how many of you think that the ultimate goal of life is to enjoy this material nature? Raise your hand. How many of you think the goal of life is to develop your relationship with Krishna? Now, where do you get this knowledge? If you think about that, it is by coming across a devotee. A devotee who has been also trained by Srila Prabhupada's teachings. He only carried this message and brought it to us. And as a result of that, today, are you happily situated in your spiritual life? How many of you think that? So that is a simple fact of life. Maya, Krishna. Now the choice is ours. Maya's allurement is immediate because we are in a world of sense perception. And the objects of senses are there. So eyes are seeing. And when we see a beautiful form, we become attracted. It's natural. Like, for example, in Ramayana there is this anecdote of Rishishringa Muni. He didn't have any connection to the material nature. His father completely separated him away from all that. And he never seen a woman. But Dasarath needed him, according to Vasishtha Muni's advice. So, how to bring him to the city? He lives in the forest, in the ashram. So he sent some beautiful women. And this boy who never seen a woman in his whole life immediately become attracted. This shows how alluring, how enchanting and how bewildering that form is. Naturally one feels that attraction. So that is the material nature. So, but when you come across a bona fide spiritual master, okay, prior to that you can see, like in the outside world, what most people actually, most young men are thinking. Most of the young people are thinking of finding a beautiful woman who they can marry. Isn't it? They're searching. And all the endeavor is just for that, to find the woman. And it's not only the men are running after women, the women are also running after men. How can you get a rich, handsome man to... So that is the material nature. And we take it for granted that yes, that is the way of life. And everyone is running after the suitable partner. But when you come to Krishna consciousness, then we get to hear that that's not the case. Rather, that's the trick of Maya. By alluring in this way, Maya is taking us away from Krishna. Maya is not taking us away from Krishna, but Maya is testing whether we are qualified to go to Krishna. She will see that no unqualified person can approach Krishna. To get Krishna, you have to become qualified, and therefore Maya is taking on. And then when we come across a bona fide spiritual master, he shows us the path of real enjoyment, and the taste of that enjoyment is so wonderful that we lose all taste for material allurements. Higher taste. By getting the higher taste, we naturally give up the lower taste. Like, if a person is very hungry and there is nothing to eat, can it just consider just consider a person who didn't eat for 3-4 days. 3-4 days. Won't eat anything that he gets. Something rotting, putrid, smelling badly. He will just eat it. But if now you consider a person who is regularly having the taste of Mahaprasad, when he sees that food, what will happen? He will feel totally disgusted and covered his nose and mouth. So that is the meaning of higher taste, and that higher taste is consciousness. When we develop the taste, the joy of our relationship with Krishna, loving relationship with Krishna, then automatically we give up any allurement, any attraction for materialistic source of enjoyment. So the spiritual master gives the higher taste. And now we have to use our intelligence to find out what to do and what not to do. And the spiritual master also is not that he's so cruel and he tells, oh, don't do this. That's what I have seen with Srila Prabhupada. He dealt with us so tenderly. He knows, like, what is our limitation. Like, if a person has the ability to lift only 5 kilos, will anybody give him 20 kilos? What will happen? If he tries to lift the 20 kilos, he will break his back. So the spiritual master tenderly guides the disciples. I mentioned one incident in Ocean of Mercy. Once I admitted to Srila Prabhupada that when I go to Calcutta, when I used to go to Calcutta in my pool, sometimes I used to go to a switch and eat seeds. Prabhupada's response was, that's observation. After all, we are getting that as Krishna's mercy. The food that we are getting is Krishna's mercy, so take it with that consciousness. So that time, I may have been attracted to sweets, but today I lost all tastes. Not all tastes. Right. But that kind of craving is not there anymore. It goes away with time. So, nature guides us to the ultimate destination also. When we are young, we have a very strong tendency to enjoy through our senses. But when you grow old, the tendency wins. Tendency reduces personal age. So, nature will. It's by nature, we call nature's arrangement that we got this body. And it's by nature's arrangement that we gradually developed our attachment to the body. At the time of death, at the time of birth, was there any attraction to the body, any attachment to the body? We didn't even know that we were the body. But with the passing of time, the attachment to the body developed. And that attachment is at its peak at the time of youth, at the prime of youth. And then you start getting old, and you can see gradually the attachment decreases. In this way, nature is making the arrangement to free us from this material, free us from the bondage of the body, free us from the allurements of the senses. And then at the time of death, we have time to free ourselves and go back. But unfortunately, people do not go along with nature. Like, even when they go old, they want to remain young. And as a result of that, at the time of death, at the time of the real exams, they fail. Okay, back to where you were. Start again. Another birth. And that birth we do not know whether we will get a human body or not. Therefore we should be very careful that we take full advantage of this life. Krishna has given us an opportunity, so let's take full advantage. We got everything. We got the instructions, spiritual instructions, Srila Prabhupada's arrangement, through Prabhupada's books, through Prabhupada's representatives, Prabhupada's devotees. We are getting this knowledge, so let's enrich ourselves with this knowledge. We found the path. Stay on the path and never deviate. Thank you very much. Glories to Śukadeva. Gaur Premanande. Does anybody have any question? I'll just take one or two questions. Yes.
Thank you very much for such inspiring class. Like as you told in the beginning also, like there is a need of qualified person for each and every responsibility. Like, but everyone is not qualified from the birth. So what is the role of training especially, and especially in the life of brahmacharis? How much emphasis should be given for the training of the brahmachari?
Well, like spiritual life means brahmachari. Brahmachari means one who is situated in spiritual consciousness. So, it is important that we remain in that platform properly situated. Then only we'll be able to make spiritual advancements. Like as I said, by getting a higher taste of the Lord. Otherwise, material enjoyment has a taste. Now, if you do not have any superior alternative arrangement, then it will be impossible to do it. So, brahmachari means to get the higher taste and become averse to the lower taste. And yes, training is necessary. So, are you getting proper training? Is it working? So, are you also training others?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any other question? Okay, thank you very much.